The Stoner Mesa Fire. Haven't talked much about that, but it's still burning uncontained in the San Juan National Forest. It's burned more than 7,000 acres and has put the town of Rico on notice to evacuate. Earlier this week, parks and wildlife workers carried out some evacuations of their own. They hauled hundreds of native trout out of the fire's path. On Monday, state, local, and federal workers went on a high-stakes fishing trip. It allowed aquatic biologists to access Wildcat Creek, a tributary that feeds into the upper Dolores. That creek is home to a unique strain of cutthroat trout, the Uncompahgre cutthroat. They're recognized as the native strain in the upper Dolores, Gunnison, and Colorado River basins, kind of like the OG trout in that part of our state. Parks and wildlife workers say they're an important population to preserve the genetic diversity, so they wanted to quick get these fish out of the way before the fire reached the watershed and impacted the air and water quality.
Those fish, having evolved in the drainage, have certain characteristics that make them successful in that environment. So we have these very small populations that could potentially blink out from the genetic side of things. There's a lot more than just, oh, it's one fish in one stream. You could actually use the genetics of that fish and kind of plant it in other unique lineages within the basin to improve genetic diversity and improve the survival of that entire lineage in the upper Dolores River basin.
There's a beautiful trout, and that man has a majestic mustache. CPW and Forest Service workers fished 266 of the trout out of the creek. They've trucked them 165 miles away to a hatchery north of Gunnison. The hope is that they will eventually return them from the hatchery to that same Wildcat Creek. If it turns out that's not an option, CPW says they could establish a new population somewhere else.